One, member, your assignment title, discipline thinking and critical thinking. You will have 10 to 15 minutes for the presentation, and then we will allocate 5 to 10 minutes for other members to explain what they understood in their paper, in their assignment, right? So who is going to be the leader? Presentation? Your name? Kedis Bogalka. Come, Kedis. Come here. Yes, it's already there. You know, right?
Yeah.
Next. Okay, this now you can begin.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 1, and our topic is discipline thinking and critical thinking. Before we start our presentation, we would like to thank our God for who we are today, and secondly, we would like to thank our instructor, Mr. Mohammed Zainu, for giving us this opportunity to do this assignment, and we came to know many things, and we are grateful for that. So these are our group members. So as an introduction, in today's information-rich society, where everything is in our hands, critical thinking skills are essential for both academic and personal development. And discipline thinking is the foundation of this skill set and is what helps us to make well-informed decisions and solve problems. And when we are going to, at the end of this presentation, we'll be able to examine the idea of discipline thinking and clarify its significant influence on enhancement of our critical thinking abilities. And the other one is, at the end of this presentation, we'll be able to clarify the ways in which developing a disciplined way of thinking improves our ability to think academically as well as personally advanced thinking. So the other one is we'll be able to have a better knowledge of the significance of disciplined thought and its broad ramification by the end of this presentation. So the first one is the definition and relationship of disciplined thinking and critical thinking. So the first thing is, what is disciplined thinking? Disciplined thinking is the practice of approaching, processing, and an information in a method way and logical and rational way. So it entails using a set of cognitive or thinking abilities and intellectual standards to assess ideas, arguments, and evidences. So disciplined thinking seeks to reduce biases, preconceptions, and emotional effects in order to reach a well-reasoned and trustworthy conclusions. So on the other hand, critical thinking is not bound. It includes disciplined thinking as well. So it entails actively and skillfully thinking, applying and synthesizing and evaluating data to form beliefs and behaviors. So critical thinking is more than just accepting what is true or right or rejecting ideas. It also includes questioning that information, examining it, and challenging them based on evidence and arguments. So disciplined thinking is essential for effective decision making, problem solving, and reasoning. So here's how it relates to all these topics. So when we come to decision making, disciplined thinking enables people to make informed and sensible decisions by analyzing relevant information, assessing the information we obtain, or assessing options, and weighing down potential consequences. So the other one is problem solving. So disciplined thinking encourages people to break down complex problems and think about how to solve that problem in many different angles and come up with creative solutions. So this in turn helps them gain confidence in their reasoning abilities, allowing them to rely on their critical thinking when facing problems. So the other one is reasoning. Disciplined thinking improves reasoning abilities by encouraging logical and cohesive thinking abilities. So it enables people to evaluate arguments, analyze evidence, and discover weakness in reasoning. So disciplined thinking is critical in developing intellectual independence in what we have in the information we gain. So the first one is it minimizes biases. So disciplined thinking enables people to notice and reduce biases that might distort our judgment. So it teaches people to be mindful of their own assumptions, biases, and emotional impacts when examining data or making judgments. So practicing a disciplined thinking helps people to think freely and make rational decisions rather than influenced by personal or cultural prejudice. So when it comes to critical evaluation, disciplined thinking enables people to critically assess information, ideas, and arguments. So it fosters a mindset of questioning and analyzing various perspectives, sources, and facts. So when they have the information and they critically analyze that information. So it's important to have a disciplined thinking in these situations. So the other one is self-reflection. So disciplined thinking encourages self-reflection and awareness. So people will be able to ask themselves like what's going on, their weaknesses, and after some failures, they'll be able to self-correct themselves. So disciplined thinking helps in this self-reflection issue. The second one is, the second subtopic is going to be about the importance of thinking for yourself. So in this age and in this world at this moment, like we have a lot of information in our hand and we have many information that might contradict with our opinions. So having our own beliefs and viewpoints and beliefs is important to separate these cultural conventions, prejudices, and influences. So people stop being passive information acceptors and participate actively when they think of themselves. So gaining the capacity to think independently has several advantages. Being able to think for oneself has different advantages. The first one is it encourages originality and creativity. So people won't be copying what they had heard or read from an article or from media, but they'll be able to have their own ideas, so that will make it original and creative. So this helps in professional settings where thinking creatively can result in innovations and developments. The second one is the autonomous thinking or disciplined thinking encourages development and self-discovery. So people will be able to know their values and beliefs when they participate or practice disciplined thinking. The last one is the ability to think independently enables people to make wise decisions. So they'll be able to analyze the information based on their values, so that their decision will be set for their own benefits. So the other thing we're going to talk about is benefit of questioning, analyzing, and forming personal opinions. So in an age of information overload, as I said earlier, and echo chambers, the ability to question what we are seeing and analyze what we had and form our own personal opinions is more crucial than ever. So deeper understanding. So questioning goes beyond rote memorization. So if we ask the question why behind an information, we will be able to get deeper in that information and gain more knowledge. So the other one is critical thinking skill. So by analyzing information from various perspectives, We learn to critically evaluate sources, identify biases, and weigh down evidences. So this equips us to navigate information overload. So we know what we want from the information we had, and resist manipulation and make sound judgments. The other one is enhanced problem solving. So when we have we analyze and question the information at hand, we become adept at tackling challenges creatively and effectively. So we are not just reacting to problems now. So we are proactively participating in that problem, and we tailor our own solutions. So the fourth one is personal growth and confidence. So when we are questioning and analyzing the information at hand, we'll be pushed out of our comfort zone. So this getting out of our comfort zone, challenging preconceived notions and fostering intellectual curiosity makes us be more confident in ourselves. So since we are getting out of our comfort zone. So this journey of self-discovery builds confidence in our ability to think for yourself and form informed opinions. So the fifth one is responsible participation in society. So a person who has a disciplined mind will be able to form constructive dialogues, challenge the existing status affair, and advocate for a positive challenge. So this in turn will bring about a healthy democracy in the society. The sixth one is fostering innovation and creativity. This is more of like the earlier one we talked about. So it's having our disciplined thinking will be able will let us have innovation, which means we'll be open to new ideas and will be creative. So it's more like the other one. So the seventh one is building resilience and adaptability. In a world of constant change, questioning and analyzing equip you to adapt and thrive. So you learn to approach situation with an open mind, identify emerging trends, and adjust your thinking as needed. So critical thinking isn't just about abstract theory. It's potent force that shapes our lives in profound ways. So there are in professional and personal context. Here are some examples. So let's see one example from this one. So when it comes, let's just see relationship repair. So after a heated argument, Emily takes a step back. She analyzes the situation from her partner's perspective, identifies her own biases, and communicates her thoughts calmly. So this critical approach fosters empathy, understanding, and strengthens the relationship rather than breaking them apart. In professional context, we can see the ethical dilemma. So a doctor faces pressure to overprescribe medication. She applies critical thinking to assess the risks and benefits of prescribing that overly prescribing that medicine, and advocating for appropriate treatment for her patients, upholding ethical principles in the face of external pressure. So this person is deeply well acquainted with the disciplined thinking. So the third subtopic is about the distinction between disciplined thinking and rote memorization. So we said earlier what disciplined thinking is reasoning, problem solving, and critical analysis of a component that makes a disciplined person. So it emphasizes on comprehending ideas, seeing trends, and drawing connections between various notions. So when we get an information, we ask why, and we relate that information with the existing idea we have. So that would be a disciplined thinking mind. And on the other hand, rote memorization entails learning facts by heart. But we learn that fact with our heart, but not even though we may not fully comprehend their text, context or significance. It's just rereading the information we have, is like most of us do for exams. So it's based on memorization of facts, formulas, or procedures through repetition and without much consideration of the underlying principle. So this is not good compared to disciplined thinking. So beyond memorization, disciplined thinking promotes deeper comprehension, analysis, and evaluation in a number of ways. So understanding the underlying concept. So disciplined thinking, as I said earlier, we ask the question why, and so it concentrates on comprehending the basic concepts that underlie between the material, and as opposed to merely memorizing facts or formulas. So it entails posing questions or queries, looking for answers, and investigating the cause of why things operate as they do. So understanding the underlying concept is one of the characteristics of disciplined thinking mind. Critical analysis and thought is the other one. So disciplined thinking entails evaluating data critically, looking for trends and drawing connections between various ideas or notions. So it pushes us to assess accuracy and consistency of the data and take into account other viewpoints and challenge presumptions. So the third one is problem-solving abilities. So we know from the information we got, like we had a deeper understanding of that information. So we'll be able to use that information in different unfamiliar circumstances, and so we'll be able to, a disciplined mind has a problem-solving ability, a better problem-solving ability. The other one is information evaluation and synthesis. A key component of disciplined thinking is assessing the reliability and applicability of information sources. So it calls on us to evaluate opposing arguments critically, considering the available data, and reach well-informed conclusions rather than rushing to a conclusion. So the other one is long-term retention. So this is, we know what the information's deeper level of, we understood that information in deeper level. So, and we connected the information with existing ideas we have. So that will make us remember that information for a long period of time. Interconnected ideas throughout time by actively fusing new knowledge with what is already known. So contradictorily, on the other hand, rote memorization is like this one. Memorization only can have a lack of comprehension. So memorization by itself does not encourage a true comprehension of the material. It emphasizes memorization of material without necessarily understanding the context or meaning of that material. So this is rote learning, as we said earlier. Limited application. So rather than having that information applied to different problems and not being able to apply that information in unfamiliar circumstances, we will only be able to use that information in that setting or in the context we have already in hand. The other one is difficulty addressing problems. So memorization by itself fails to encourage the development of problem-solving abilities. So dependence on facts committed to memory alone may prove inadequate in instances involving intricate issues or novel circumstances. So this is what problem-solving ability lacks in memorization. So the other one is lack of originality and creativity. So when we have our own thinking, as we said earlier, disciplined thinking, we have our own way of thinking. But if we only memorize the information at hand, it decreases our originality and creativity. It concentrates on more memorization of facts we already have in hand. So the other one is limited retention. This is contrary to the disciplined thinking, which is long-term retention. So we have limited retention if we only memorize the information we have at hand. So the power of disciplined thinking in real-life situations. So benefit of disciplined person. So a disciplined person has an orderliness in life. So and establish discipline is a bridge between goals and accomplishments. Hence, it's the key to success. Discipline establishes a good basis for being selective, independent, punctual, focused, encouraged, and staying organized in life. So that's a basic characteristics of a disciplined person. So there is a scenario in here where we see a disciplined person. So Marita wakes up before dawn each morning to exercise. So she works very efficiently in the office, ignoring distractions and devoting all of her attention to high-value projects. In the evening, she attends a class online. Now she's going to have her MBA or master's degree. So how can a person like Marita achieve so much and so consistently? The answer for this lies in self-discipline. So she has self-discipline. She knows what she wants. So instead of focusing on her short-term memory advantages, she pursues her long-term gain. So when we practice disciplined thinking, it will be evident in several areas. So we already discussed about this. So when we practice disciplined thinking, we have enhanced decision-making ability. So it enables individuals to make logical and well-reasoned decisions based on evidence and objective analysis. The other one is when we practice disciplined thinking more in our life, we'll be able to solve problems easily and in more creative way and improved outcomes. So discipline builds resilience and forms positive habits and allows us to master skills over time. So it enables effective time management and focus, propelling us towards our goal. So disciplined thinking plays a vital role in universities as well. So when it comes to universities, improved learning efficiency will be enhanced. So disciplined thinking helps students to organize information logically, enabling them to understand complex concepts more effectively and retain knowledge efficiently. The other one is effective study habits. So a disciplined thinking promotes effective study habits by managing our time and by setting goals and etc. And the other one is enhanced academic performance. So we'll be a person who is consistent in his or her schedule and studying habit should be able to perform academically well. So in professional settings or careers, strategic decision making will be enhanced in this disciplined thinking. So it enables individuals to make strategic decisions based on thorough analysis, weighing potential risks and rewards to achieve desired outcomes. The other one is innovative problem-solving ability. So a disciplined person will be able to solve problems in an open-minded way. And adaptability and resilience will be able to adapt to a new changing circumstances because we already know what our weaknesses and strengths are. So the other one is in everyday life. So when we have a disciplined mind, we'll be able to have a better decision-making ability. So from financial planning and health management to personal relationships and career choices. The other one is enhanced problem-solving skills, like when we can apply this from professional careers as well. So we'll be able to deal with minor inconveniences and analyze situations objectively, identifying viable solutions and take decisive action to resolve issues. So the other one is goal achievement. When we have a consistent way of thinking and when we are disciplined, we'll be able to achieve our goal and not stop when we encounter small issues. So this approach, disciplined thinking, is more than just studying hard. It's about actively engaging with information, questioning that information we have at hand, and seeking deeper understanding. So this one is the last part: strategies and tips for cultivating disciplined thinking. So what are the strategies or tips of cultivating disciplined thinking? So the first one is engaging in mindfulness activity or practice. So we are using breathing exercises or something like that. We can practice disciplined thinking by being mindful of our activities. So it establishes specific objectives. Clearly state your immediate and long-term objectives. So divide them into more manageable, achievable steps. This will support you in maintaining discipline and attention in your thoughts and behaviors. The third one is create a schedule. So a schedule is more important, and when we want to practice disciplined thinking. So the other one is adopt a critical thinking approach. Question your presumptions and convictions. So ask insightful questions, take into account opposing viewpoints, and assess the available data to practice critical thinking. The other one is seek intellectual stimulation. So take part in learning activities that advance your knowledge. Rather than sitting in the knowledge we already have in hand or we already know, it's better to expand our knowledge. So this keeps our mind active and broadens our knowledge. So exercise self-control. Cultivate self-control in several aspects of your life. Start with manageable, basic tasks and work your way up to more challenging ones. So small habits result to bigger results. So accept failure and take it as a learning opportunity. So this is like not taking a failure personally is important in this situation. So note that developing a disciplined way of thinking takes time, effort, and practice. Continue to be reliable, practice self-compassion, and acknowledge your accomplishment as you go to have a better disciplined mind. So being mindful and having self-reflection and active engagement are important in the goals of disciplined thinking. So in conclusion, we saw the definition and relationship between critical thinking and disciplined thinking, and the importance of thinking for ourselves, and the benefits of questioning, analyzing, and forming personal opinions in today's world where information is everywhere in our hands, and the distinction between disciplined thinking and the rote memorization we have already seen. We saw this and their distinction. So the other one is the power of critical thinking and application in real-life situations. And lastly, we saw the strategies and tips to develop our critical thinking abilities. So if you have any questions, this is the presentation.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Excellent presentation. Complex and the more overlapping topics. Disciplined thinking and critical thinking are somehow what? More overlapping, right? It's harder to find where the distinction, the difference lies, right? But she has clearly pointed out the point. Clearly, exactly, pointed out the point distinctly. I will proceed to group member Kamal Ishaq. Kamal Ishaq. Kamal. Come here. Kamal. Şapar konuş. Yes. Yes. Kamal, tell me, keep silent. Tell me what you understand from your paper, from your assignment. And second, choose 3 questions. What is the significance of disciplined thinking in developing strong critical thinking skill, and how can disciplined thinking enhance problem solving, right? First, tell me what you understand from your assignment.
First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. The thing that I understand from the presentation is that a crucial need of critical thinking. We need critical thinking in our whole lives, whether in, for example, I'm a student here in this university. I need critical thinking. Whenever I graduate from here and get a job, I need critical thinking. At home, in everywhere, we need critical thinking. That I understand from it.
What's the significance? How can disciplined thinking enhance problem solving?
Critical thinking enhance problem solving by thinking in many ways. For example, in every days we face with many problems. Then when we are critical thinking, we think of how to solve that problem, what we benefit from that when we get in problem, and what is the consequence of that making problem. If we know this, we don't getting into problem. If we have a problem, if we are critical thinking, we think about how to solve that problem in a rational way.
ቅድስት ዓለም ቅድስት ዓለም አብሰንት ቃል ኪዳን ፈቃዱ ዓለም Just the same question, right? What do you understand from your assignment? And provide example of situation where disciplined thinking has led to better outcome or solution. First, tell me what do you understand from your assignment? What was your contribution?
Okay, thank you for giving me this chance. I understood from this assignment disciplined thinking is important for our life, and it is the practice of processing and approaching information in a methodological, logical, and rational way, and it enable us to solve a problem effectively, to make a better decision, and to analyze information effectively.
Very good. How can disciplined thinking contribute to personal goals? You have already answered that. What are the strategies or technique we can employ to cultivate disciplined thinking in daily life? What are the strategies, tips?
Developing our self-awareness and practice critical thinking by questioning assumptions, and evaluating informations, and
ካሳሁን ተፈራ first tell me in a nutshell, in brief, what do you understand from your paper, and tell me what are the strategies to enhance one's disciplined thinking and critical thinking.
Thank you for this opportunity. And what I understood from this topic is all critical things are disciplined thinking or disciplined critical thinking, but all thinking are not critical thinking. I understand who is a critical thinker and who is not. I understand these are standards between critical thinker and non-critical thinker. These are, for example, precision. This is a property or standards. Precise, accuracy, fairness, correctness. These are the standard of a critical thinker. And I understand how I solve my problem when I face a problem, and how I think critically. I understand from this paper or from this presentation.
Can you tell us some techniques that we can employ to cultivate disciplined thinking?
May I use a piece of paper?
No, just from what her presentation or from the paper that I've already prepared. We have mentioned pieces of technique, right?
Yeah.
Can you mention at least three of them?
Yeah. There are to identify a problem. Which one? What is the root of a problem? To identify which one is fallacy in argumentation, and to identify an unfounded assumption of the argumentation.
Identification. Very good. Nice. Kanan Abdi. Kanan Abdi, tell me what you understand from your paper, from your assignment.
It's about critical thinking and how it's affect our everyday lives and how it affects how it's makes our life better and easier, and how it affects our rational thinking and judgments, and make make a statement based on reasoning and without a bias and rational judgments.
Okay. Tell me the difference between critical thinking and rote memorization. What's the difference?
You know, when you are a critical thinker, you do things like, you know, based on facts, based on research, based on experiments, based on rational judgments, without bias and
Yes. Caleb Alamayu. Caleb Alamayu. See? Tell me what you understand from your paper, from your assignment.
Discipline thinking will help us to make a more critical analysis, and it's all about critical thinking and discipline thinking.
It's about discipline and critical thinking. Can you mention some techniques to improve one's critical and discipline thinking? What are the
By
techniques?
awareing oneself, like how to monitor our emotions, reactions, and situations, and by having or concentrating or focusing to by focusing or concentrating to make full concentration on one thing, to understand that thing.
Okay. What's the difference between rote memorization and critical thinking? Rote memorization and critical thinking. Thank you. Kedis Bogala, yes, thank you very much. Kananisa Galu, Kananisa. Kananisa, tell me what you understand from your paper, from your.
Okay, I understand from our paper that critical thinking and discipline thinking is very important for our daily lives, and it solves our problem and like helps us to think rationally, and so.
Okay. What's the similarity and difference between rote memorization and critical thinking?
Okay, critical thinking is I don't know. Another question.
Another question. What are strategies or techniques to cultivate critical thinking?
Okay, the first one is it's for time management. Time management, setting clear goals, and so.
Kalkilan Abba Balamu. What do you understand from your paper assignments?
Okay, thank you. I understood the difference between discipline thinking and critical thinking. That discipline thinking is the method of processing and approaching information in methodical, logical, and reasoning way. And critical thinking is more general. That includes discipline thinking.
Thank you very much. What's the difference between rote memorization and critical thinking?
Rote memorization is linked in soaking information like a sponge. And critical thinking is like, as I've said earlier, it's a general intent. It includes discipline thinking. It's a more general way.
Thank you. Can you mention some characteristics of rote memorization?
Decision making.
Characteristics of rote memorization.
Problem solving. Logical reasoning, and etc. Okay, sorry.